Greetings. Greetings, family. Greetings, family. We are back again. Okay, so here we have.
Come back, people, come back.
It's only 2 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to be having a natural product demonstration from Sherilyn Dos Santos from a company called PureGoodness. You can find them at puregoodnesslondon.com or on Instagram at puregoodness1. So I'm gonna ask Sherilyn some questions to introduce herself. But I've known this sister for a very long time. She gave up her full-time job to focus fully on not only just home educating her 2 beautiful daughters, but to run this company on a more full-time basis. So she's going to be showing you how to make some of the products that she's got in her product range, and you can find her table over there. So your name is Sherilyn Dos Santos. Can you tell us a bit about how you got started?
So about 7-8 years ago, I started to wear my hair in its natural state, and I couldn't really find products that helped me to manage it. You know, it was all new to me after having chemicals on my hair from about age 9. So I remember I was getting this product, and it came all the way from America. It was very hard to find, but it was the one thing that actually softened my hair. And I was heavily pregnant, couldn't get to the place to get it, and my husband said to me, why don't you just try making it? And I was like, what? Make it? Like, it had never occurred to me to try to make this product. But it then sparked a curiosity in me, like, what is in this thing that makes my hair just so soft? So I started reading labels, I got onto the internet, started researching, because you know on the labels it's all very, the language the wording they use, it's not very easy to understand, it's all scientific. But the short story is, after months of researching, I started to understand what were these natural ingredients that were doing the great job, and I started to mix for myself and my family, and they would be like, oh, this is really good, you need to be selling this. So eventually I set up a market stall, I had a few things tested, and it basically grew from there, and that was about 6 years ago now.
And what was the first product that you made and sold that was really popular?
It's my Sherilyn hair and scalp moisturizer, which I have on the stall, and I'm actually going to teach you to make a version of that now. Very simple ingredients, maybe about 7 ingredients max, because as many of the speakers have already said today, you know, our hair, for all its wonderfulness, it's quite simple to maintain, and the ingredients that we use are very simple when you know. Often it's because we don't know, so everyone can sell everything to us and make us think that there's some kind of magic, and it's really not that. It's a little bit of knowledge, and when you apply it, you can actually do it for yourself.
Lovely. Okay, so do you want to get started? And I'll hold the mic for you.
Yes. So what I wanted to say, today really it's about empowering. So I started off the journey making stuff, and then shortly after, I could see that people were very much into doing it themselves, and I wanted to help people with that. Hence why I started selling the natural oils and the shea butters and the avocado and all the things in its raw state to help people. So I really do want to empower you, so you can leave here today feeling more confident, knowing you can go in your own kitchen, as Natasha said, probably find what you have and do it yourself. So I'm going to teach you to make 3 things today. A hair and scalp moisturizer, though you learned today about not nourishing your scalp. I heard that from the lady over there. Now, again, it's an individual thing, but as well, if you're eating properly and you're drinking enough water, often your scalp is fine. But the moisturizer is safe for hair and scalp, will not build up. We're going to do a hair mist with majority water in it to hydrate your hair, and we are going to do a hair oil to seal in moisture and also to use that as a hot oil. And I must say, as you said, I started another journey last year when I started to home educate my children. And this week, I started another journey in that I'm starting sister locks. So I had my installation this week. So yes, stay with me, and you can grow with my locks. So I'm going to start off. I pre-measured the ingredients to make it quicker. So here we have 100 grams of organic shea butter. We get that from Ghana. And I was manipulating it a little bit while I was sat down waiting. Because you know shea butter can be quite hard, but it gets very easy when you start to whip it, which I'm going to show you. So this hasn't been whipped or anything. I literally got the spatula and just loosened it up. Now, when you're doing stuff at home, like when you start off like I did, always have a little notepad piece. I say a notepad, not a scrap of paper, because what happens is if you start writing stuff on scraps of paper, you then lose the scraps, or you can't find it when you need it. So if you just get a blank book, nothing pretty, but every time you go to make something, write down what you're doing, because you will never be able to remember exactly quantities, and sometimes just 20 grams more or less of something can make a big difference. So that's about 100 grams of shea butter. Now, shea butter is a wonderful moisturizing agent. It locks in moisture really, really well. This is 50 grams of organic coconut oil. Coconut oil, it penetrates all the layers of the hair shaft. And here is an ingredient less known by people, but it's aloe vera and seaweed gel. Now, you would have heard earlier as well that the hair needs water. You know, a lot of us, did anyone else here grow up like trying to avoid water like I did? Not going swimming, running from the rain. We actually was not doing our hair any favors because the
How many grams?
50 grams, thank you. Yep, do are. So 50 grams of aloe vera and seaweed gel. It could be regular aloe vera gel. And what we're going to do now is we are going to whip it all together. So in the bowl, you see that they're all just in their consistent state. Now when you start whipping it, kind of mash them up together first. You could, for speed, melt down the shea and the coconut oil a little first. But what happens when you add heat to any of these? It loses some of their properties. And definitely if you do it in a microwave, that will happen. So you could just put it over a bain-marie, which is basically a pot of hot water on the fire. And then you put your bowl of oil on top of the boiling water, and it just gently melts it. And you don't need to wait till it's fully melted, just semi-solid, yeah? You can see the solid bit is still inside the whisk, so I'm going to get that out.
Do you find any difference between using organic and inorganic? I mean, apart from avoiding the chemicals, is there actually any difference in the end product?
Not really in the end product. It's more because it's going to not have the chemicals from the preservatives, I mean from the things that they put on it with the fertilizers. With shea butter, for example, like unrefined tends to smell less because when they refine it, it removes some of that smell. Now, for some people, that's a good thing. I've learned that unrefined doesn't equal bad all the time because sometimes as well it can take out some of the things that people are allergic to. So I know that some people, there was one lady, one customer with eczema, and the unrefined was better for her skin because the refined was better because the unrefined, the thing that would trigger her eczema was in that because it wasn't removed. Now, as you can see, it's coming nice and aerated and light and whippy. And when you put that on, you just rub it slightly, and it melts into an oil. Yeah? So...
Anyone need help with their elbows? Anyone need a touch? No one say me either. Don't be like that.
So basically, because I put the aloe vera in, it is now classed as an oil and water mixture. So I need to preserve it. A lot of people will just mix shea butter and stuff, and then they don't preserve it. Now, if you're just mixing oils, so let's say shea butter, coconut oil, some jojoba, you don't need to add a preservative because it's just oil. The moment you add anything water-based, you need to preserve it or keep it in the fridge for maybe a month maximum because it will start to go moldy. You know, sometimes you might have a product and maybe you haven't used it for a long time and you put it down and you open it, it smells a bit off. It's because it's already starting to deteriorate. Now, for some people, they will just use it and it's fine, but you don't want to get anything growing.
Nah, man, don't use something if it's moldy. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
And I don't advocate that, but I know people will have stuff and it'll be sitting there for years and yeah, it's fine, just use it. Yeah.
No, it can't work. Stop it.
But, the moment you put anything watery in there to preserve it, so we have a natural preservative, and this is the one that we use in all of our products because our range isn't just hair care. We do face care, body care. Today we've mainly just got the hair stuff and a bit of body. And you use your preservative at 1%. This has got a long name. I always try and pronounce it. Here we go. It's called phenoxyethanol and ethanoglycerin, and it comes as it is. And it's derived from coconut, so it's from a natural source. But of course, it goes through its processing to make it what it is. So I'm sure the end product isn't fully natural. However, without preserving your products, you can't sell them. So it's the most natural one that we've found. So if you're going to replicate this, you have to put your preservative at 1%. So let's test your maths. If this is 200 grams in here in total, how much preservative do I need to put in? 2 grams. So it's not a lot at all. Now, I would normally have my little measuring spoon, but I've been doing this so long now, I know what like 2 ml looks like. But you can get those little tiny measuring cups at home, just use it. So a little bit of this will last you a long time. We've got some on the store, but not a lot, only about 20 bottles. So if you want some, do come quick. And you're just going to mix that in. And that is going to make what would have gone off in about a month is going to make it last up to 2 years. Yeah, outside of the fridge. But of course, you don't keep your products for 2 years, do you? No, the whole point, the wonderful thing about doing it yourself, you can make a batch. If like in our house there's 3 girls and a man, you know, you can just make a big batch, big tub, and you're sorted for months. When it runs out, you do it again. And you can get your children involved, which is really nice. And to finish it off, I'm just going to add an essential oil. Now here I have a few. Couple of the best ones for hair, rosemary. Rosemary is really, really good. It stimulates your scalp and it opens it up as well. So we're going to put some rosemary in there. Few drops. Now, yeah, there you go. That kind of poured out. Don't worry. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. When it comes to essential oils, hence why they put it in a bottle with a dropper. You do not need a lot at all. Some people really want the smell and they'll put too much, but too much of it can be adverse. So you don't want to do that. So here you have a nice aerated hair whip. And you could also use it on your body, and it wouldn't be a problem. So if you do like, I don't know, whatever smells you like for the body, lavender, whatever, you could put that in there. You've got a nice body whip. So I'm going to contain that up afterwards. The next thing I'm going to do is a simple hair oil. Now, does anyone smell it? Of course we can.
We're going to pass it around so you lot can smell it. Don't start doing elbows and knees and ankle and everything. Just smell it. Oh, you can try it. Oh, that's nice. Okay, use a spatula and put a little bit on you.
So,
no one start bottling it and selling it, you know.
just make sure you include me in the cut, yeah? So, does anyone do hot oil treatments at home? You know, a lot of people, before I started to not understand products, I would be going to salon and spending quite a lot of money to do my hair. And I agree what the sister said earlier. There is very much a tradition around getting your hair done, you know, sitting in the chair and that feel good. And I'm a big fan, so you do that. But of course, you might not do that every month. It can be costly. So just for you to know what you can do at home, I'm going to just mix 3 oils. Now, this is avocado. Avocado is packed with vitamin E, a bit like what Natasha said earlier. But whereas she was talking about consuming, this is all for the outside of your body. You're not going to consume these. The ones that I said are not for internal consumption. So we're going to put like 3 equal parts. And you can see how dark and green this avocado oil is. Sometimes you get avocado oil and it might look yellow. It's more refined. This is unrefined and pure. You can see how dark that is. And then we're going to add some argan, which is very conditioning. It has similar properties to jojoba oil. And it's also antioxidizing, so that will get your scalp nice and circulating as well. And I'm going to put a little bit more of that one, actually. And the last one I'm going to put is castor oil. Now, castor oil is also antifungal. I know some people come to me and they say, oh, I can't use castor oil, it's just too thick. But you shouldn't really use it just by itself. You want to be mixing it, you know, at any ratio, definitely less than 50% of what you're using, maybe 20 or 30%. But castor oil is a great one. It does help to thicken up the hair. Some say it's a placebo effect, because it's true. Like, if your hair follicles or your strands are fine, it's your DNA, they're just fine, but it will help it to feel thicker and appear thicker. When you wash it and that will go away, but it will definitely help your hair appear thicker. So we're going to put the castor oil in.
They used to have to eat castor oil when they were younger. I have nightmares about that. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it has so many benefits, so many. But we'll stick to the external use. And again, essential oil. I'm going to add a couple of drops. In this case, I'm going to add some eucalyptus. Again, very good on the scalp. And I'll go a bit slower. For this, is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that's a 100ml bottle, and I put 10 drops, and that is plenty. Again, I know some people like to, you know, if they've got 5 essential oils, they want to put all 5 in one product. You don't need to do it. You know, let the oils do their job, 1 or 2, I would say, in any product you're making. And then when you do it again, maybe experiment with the other oils, but try not to put like 4 or 5. Essential oils, they are very, very powerful. You know, that's why they advise pregnant women to stay away from certain ones, because they really can, you know, induce labor and make things happen. So you don't want to be putting too much of any of them in your product. Give it a good shake. Now this you would use after the next product I'm about to make. you could just seal in the moisture. So after you put a water-based product on your hand, a few drops of this, rub it in, seal it. Before you wash your hair, you want to do a hot oil treatment, twist the cap, a few drops along your scalp, all around, massage it in, wrap in cling film. The wonderful thing is you can put that on in the morning, put a hat on in the winter, go shopping, do your thing with your cling film on, come back home, wash it out. Hair's going to be in wonderful condition after you wash it. There's your oil. Now, the last thing I'm going to make is a moisturizing spray, a mist. As the lady said earlier, again, I can't remember which one, but to moisturize your hair, the product, really the majority ingredient should be water. Now, I know that for a lot of us, that is a real mental shift because we've just been, oils, butters, but the hair needs the water. So I'm going to put water first. I'm going to put about 70%. Again, I'm judging this by eye. And I found what's really helpful when you start mixing, to try and do things in 100-gram batches to start with. Because it just means that when you're trying to do the maths and write it down, you're just working out, as in 100% and 100 grams. It's very easy as opposed to scaling it up. And then I'm going to put a square of our leave-in conditioner with organic shea butter. Now, you could put any other conditioner that you're using. It's basically to get the conditioning benefits. So just a squirt. Wait, let me shake it down again into the lid. You can see it going in there. Doesn't want to cooperate with me. There you go. So you're going to put your conditioner in there. And now we're going to put a little bit of oil. I'm going to put the argan oil again because it's very conditioning. And this is a spray that you can use whether your hair's out, whether it's in a fro, even when it's locked, because you can see it's majority water, nothing heavy in there. You can, if you've got a wig or a weave, you can get this to your hair. I grew up wearing a lot of extensions, and I used to just put, always just grease the scalp. And it's like, what about the hair? So when I would take the hair out the plaits, my natural hair would be just really dry and breaking and bristle. So even if it had grown, it was all damaged hair. So if you do wear protective styles, you really have to still find a way to condition your hair while it's in the style. And then I'm going to add some vegetable glycerin. Now, vegetable glycerin is what we call a humectant. It draws moisture from the air into your hair. So it has very similar properties to honey. People put honey in their hair mixtures. You can easily do that with vegetable glycerin, but do not overdo it because too much and then it will start to feel sticky and tacky on your hair. So again, a drop. Notice that I'm not really measuring, but if I was, I would say 10% vegetable glycerin, 10% oil, 10% conditioner, and it would be 70% water. And just to finish off, because I've got oil and waters in here, what is essential that I add to here? Who can shout it out? Preservative. Got to preserve it. Now, some people, they've got a lot of hair, or they've got a lot of people in the house to use it, and they know they're going to use it within a week. Then they don't preserve it because it's not going to go off in a week. But if it's going to stay any longer than that outside of the fridge, then you must preserve it. So a little drop. So it would be 1 ml in this case. And then finally, we're going to put an essential oil. Now, one of the essential oils that are really nice on the hair is orange. It adds strength and shine. So, yeah. There I've also got tea tree and lavender. They both have good properties as well. Tea tree is antibacterial, again, antifungal. So I'm going to put one. Now, you see they have the rosemary just flew out the bottle. The orange just takes its time. Now, again, that's because different essential oils, they have different levels of viscosity, meaning some are runnier, some are thicker. So you have to be patient, or you can tip the bottle to the side. Sometimes it helps it to come out. Oh, see, that one went back up. That's weird. Okay, there it is. 2. I'll put one more. Put 3 of that, because we don't want to keep you guys here too long. Yeah? So that's got orange. That's a nice one to add strength and shine to your hair. Now, once you've done that, I'll just top it up with water so it's closer to full. And I'm going to give it a really good shake. And you will see a massive difference when you mist your hair daily, especially if it's in plaits or braids, of how your hair feels when you take it out. The hair just slides apart as opposed to being tangly and matted.
How's everyone finding the butter that went round? Yeah. Has this side had any yet? Oh, you lot are deep. Oh my gosh, you lot haven't passed the bowl over. Where's the bowl? Someone's hiding the bowl! You lot take liberties, man. Can we pass it along so the other side can get some as well, please?
So we've just So I've just shaken it up. You can see it's gone quite cloudy, yeah? And that's what you call it. It's emulsified. But because it's not like done properly and it's not heated, it will separate on the shelf. That's fine. Just give it a good shake before you use it and spritz it. Spritz it daily, yeah? So that's the tip. So what I'm going to say now, so I've made that and the one that's going around. Now, anyone fancy a giveaway today? Anyone fancy winning anything today? Yeah. Woo! So what I'm going to do, yeah? Yes. So, just to see who was listening. Put your hands up, though. So I'm in teacher mode now, teacher mummy mode. So why is it important to preserve a mixture that has oil and water? Go mode, she said. Okay, you're first person. So what would you like to choose? You can either take the spray we made or the oil, or I will bag up the oil. Come on, help yourself. Come on, round of applause for our first one. Okay, next question. And I'm thinking of the questions on the spot, right? So I'm going to say, and this is one I put, why do you think it's important that we, as people who are massive consumers of products in general, why do you think it's important that we learn to make our own? I want to give everyone a fair chance. The lady in the mustard top. You know exactly what's going into it? Exactly. So you know what's going into it. You make it to your needs and your specification. And also as well that as a community of people, we build up our own community. I think it was in Ovi's presentation for those of you who are here in the very first one. Was it the Dryden brothers or Jake and Dryden? You know, like, come on. How many of us really know about their story? And if we did, now we do. How empowering is that? They were guys who kind of started off this whole cosmetics industry here in this country. I don't, have any beef with any other nation that want to be opening shops because they're just doing business at the end of the day. It's us really that need to sit down and think, what are we doing for ourselves? We have the knowledge. When you go to buy from the people that they couldn't even tell you the first thing about your hair if you ask them, there's something kind of wrong. We need to just empower ourselves, our children, the generations coming after us by doing this thing, whether you commercialize it like I did. I gave up my corporate job last year, after 13 years to do this and to take care of my family. There's no reason why nobody else can't do that and more because the market for it is massive. Yeah, so do be empowered. Now, darling, would you like to choose the mist or the whip that I made up? Okay. Okay, lovely. Come get it. Give a round of applause. Thank you. And the thing, the whip, I'm wondering now, by the time the whip comes back, they're probably going to be on left now. Normally I bottle it up, but don't worry, I'll give you, for this person who gets this, you can get some shea butter and I'll stall. Next question for you. I would say, just to tell us probably 2 reasons why it's really important to put water on our hair. And the lady in the purple. It moisturizes. There you go. That was one reason. Yeah, another one. I'll help you out. What is the majority content inside of our body? Yeah, we're so ready with water. Oh, you were sad, didn't you? Don't worry, you've been waiting. You come too, because you put your hand up 3 times. You come to the store too afterwards. Because you put your hand up so many times, you come to the store. Yeah, water is so important. We're going to be drinking it, filling ourselves with it, putting it on our hair, regular. Do not worry about shrinkage. I think the reason why a lot of us, again, we're taught about avoiding the water because of shrinkage, right? But shrinkage is just what our hair does. That's what our hair does. It's in its natural state. In fact, the more elasticity your hair has, the healthier it is. Again, get away from those Eurocentric beauty ideals, aka length. yeah, and start thinking about health. So even if your hair looks like it's, half a centimeter, it might actually be like, like 30 centimeters when you pull it out. Doesn't really matter whose business is it anyway. Be healthy, stop running from the water, consume the water, put it in your products because your body and your hair will thank you for it. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. Please come over to the store, see what we have, support us so that we can keep doing this work to support you.
Okay, so family, we're going to now have the panel discussion. Yes, please, darling. So if you didn't have the opportunity to ask the experts from earlier on any questions, now's your opportunity to do that. So we've got Enatan, the hair coach. Sherilyn is staying with us. We've got Natasha coming up. And in a while, we're going to get Antoinette is going to come and join us as well. So think about your questions.